Starting off fast today. It's about third cast on the LC. First one I've gotten on the LC. Yep. Alright. Spacing. Still spacing. Alright, here's a story from preschool. So there was this kid named Christopher, and he was really freaking annoying. So one time, actually there's several stories with him, so I'll tell one or two or three. So one time, I think when the first Pokemon movie came out, so I was about 4, he mentioned during preschool, he's like, "Hey guys, I saw Pokemon the movie." And I'm like, "Hey, I saw it too." And he's like, "No you didn't." And so I'm like, "Well, I did, and you aren't the one to tell me." And everybody else is just like, "Yeah, Chris saw it. You probably didn't because he said you didn't." So I was sad that day. I really hated Chris. So, and there was this other time, he and like 2 kids walked up to me, and then one of them grabbed me by the arms, and the other grabbed me by the legs by surprise. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, have you seen Kendrick Wallace?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Would you like to go find him with us?" I'm like, "Not really." And then he's like, "Okay, well, see ya." And then like his friend just kind of dropped me. It was weird. All right, so there's this kid named Mason, and so one day Mason was a little odd. One day he was dared to bash his head against a window, and he did, and he broke the window. He broke the window, and then he was immediately sent home. And then during nap time, there were some like window fixer guys who were replacing the window because the window was broken because of him. So he was weird. I remember back in preschool, last day of Kyle being there. I never really noticed him until the last day. Kyle Cosgrove. Yeah, Kyle. Well, he gave out sour gummy worms. Whole bowls of them to everybody. That's when I first heard the name Cosgrove. Now he's cool. I think it's because of that sour gummy worm day. Yeah. So there was this teacher. She decided it'd be a good idea during nap time. She was stapling like kids' work to the wall, kind of high. So she was on like, one of those really tiny chairs for preschoolers. There's a stool step, and so like, everybody was pretty much sleeping except for me. I never slept. I just kind of thought, because that's what I do, I think. And so I was pretty much looking at her the whole time she was doing this. Then all of a sudden, she'd like the chair somehow falls out from under her, and she hits the floor head on, and she's like knocked out for like a minute, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And then like, of course, Chris, that annoying kid, he got up really close to her, and he was like, so Chris was like, "Is she dead?" And everyone just kind of stared at him and laughed because, nobody would die in front of a preschooler, right? Stupid Chris.